there are people in positions of power within television who haven't done the work in order to get those positions. I see people who want to get into media because they want to be famous or they want to be around famous people, instead of actually the work that is to create meaningful programs. And it is a continuation of last week, this conversation, as my conversations are always a continuous thought. But I'm tired. I just back out of it. But most of the world don't. They're very much engaged in it and believe in it. I boycotted ITV when they put Matt Hancock in the jungle. And believe you me, I wasn't particularly watching that channel anyway, because I don't really watch much TV, and having worked there a lot, I know the ins and outs of what that's like. I've heard people in power at the BBC talk about the audience as the great unwashed. That's how much they respect you, which is zero.
Okay, so as you saw from the preview, Melanie Sykes, a former BBC employee, has gone on a heated rant against BBC and the big bosses. Now, before I get into watching the video, I wanted to find out what the reason was. What was the primary reason that she went on an explosive rant against the BBC? Because these things don't just happen from the blue. So I found an article that explains her motive for leaving and what the pre-stage was before that explosive rant she went on. So we're going to read the article just very, very quickly, and then we're going to watch the video. So let's get straight to it. Just very quickly, when I say the name Greg, she's referring to Greg Wallace. So Greg Wallace is who she's referring to. So yeah, last year she recalled being told by Greg that her appearance on BBC reality show would be a boost to her career, as he told her it would do a lot for you. However, Greg's well-meaning words of wisdom sent Melanie on a completely different path, ultimately leading to her vowing to never again return to the small screen. Melanie said that appearing on the show made her decide to end her television career once and for all. She said the comment made her realise she was done. She told The Guardian, "I will no longer be tap dancing for corporations who couldn't give two hoots about my well-being. Mainstream TV just doesn't interest me." And finally, Melanie shared the admission ahead of the release of her autobiography titled Eliminated Autism and All the Things I've Left Unsaid last year. The book details a series of events that led her to walk away from being her long-running TV career. And just very quick, when Greg was saying that it would be good for her career, he was referring to a BBC cooking show, a celebrity version of a BBC cooking show. To me, it doesn't seem like you should be going on a rant against BBC and your bosses because of that, but maybe there's something that we're missing. So let's just get straight into the video, and yeah, we'll just analyze at the end real quick.
If you're not grateful, I mean, I talk about gratitude all the time. It's not even one of the words, but fucking hell, I live in gratitude, and I see so many people who don't. I find it really odd, and how people talk to me, and again, I want to sort of talk about fame, because we're following people on. I listen to people on television. I had tune in and tune out. Sometimes things pop up on my Instagram feed, and I see. I don't want to name names because I know everybody, and I don't want to be that person that goes, that person does that. But I see people who are bored, people who don't believe in what they're doing, people who are believing their own hype. People that are spreading really shit messaging. There's no creativity in television. There are people in positions of power within television who haven't done the work in order to get those positions. I see people who want to get into media because they want to be famous or they want to be around famous people, instead of actually the work that is to create meaningful programs. And it is a continuation of last week, this conversation, as my conversations are always a continuous thought. But I'm tired. I just back out of it. But most of the world don't. They're very much engaged in it and believe in it. I boycotted ITV when they put Matt Hancock in the jungle, and believe you me, I wasn't particularly watching that channel anyway, because I don't really watch much TV, and having worked there a lot, I know the ins and outs of what that's like. I've heard people in power at the BBC talk about the audience as the great unwashed. That's how much they respect you, which is zero.
Wow.
Just so you know, turn out shit for people they don't give a fuck about. And if they think they're making fantastic television, they're deluded. And remember, they do their own programs to big themselves up, to give themselves awards for what they do as well. So it's patting their own back, generating the money, and they're happy, but you're left feeling like you've been entertained. Are you kidding me? And that's, you know, power that's the power of television, isn't it? To seduce you or to think that you're being, so going back to Matt Hancock, after all that he'd done and all that had happened during the pandemic, to actually have somebody like that on television and give him even more airtime for entertainment. My God, is this what we've gotten to? And we have, and that was years ago, and I can't look at ITV. I think anybody that works for ITV, really, I don't understand what your motives are, apart from your paycheck, and I get it. Wow. Pathetic. And also to be famous, because most famous people, if you took the fame away from them, they would not know what to do with themselves, because they're not grounded. They've lost themselves completely in a system which is managed by agents, the media, and the institutions of the television companies themselves. It's all a big dysfunctional super pain. It's bollocks. And you find one person who's right and true and says something funny and makes people laugh, and then you work them like a horse and like some kind of a mule, and then they've lost their sense of fun, seeing it time and time again. And anybody in that industry who's trying to sell you something is wanting to line their own pockets. People selling shit clothing, things that go in landfill. I'm so sick of people promoting shite that nobody needs, that's polluting the earth, with a smile and a, aren't I wonderful? Don't I look great? Wow. I'm tired of it. I don't understand why it's still going on. And I'll talk about this and somebody will leave me a message and go, yeah, but it's changing. It's not changing, not quick enough. Where is everybody? Hold on a second, because Porch is chewing something that I like. And again, I keep thinking I'm going to get to it, but I don't. But I've had to deal with health professionals recently for various different reasons, and one of them was a dentist who's worked on me and absolutely hurt me. And I started to have proceedings by just emailing the company to say this has happened, and this particular dentist has responded with a registered post letter to my home to tell me why my experience wasn't true, and that the experience was this. So I've been gaslit by a letter, so I'm dealing with that. But also, I went to see somebody about something else, and the doctor was literally looking me up and down at my clothing and then asked me the most what do you do? And do you live with anyone? And I was there to talk about my skin. I've had a female gynecologist, every time I saw her, she wanted to know where my dress was from, and when she was doing an internal examination, talking to me and asking me if I did yoga, I don't want anybody to talk to me about my personal life when you've got your fingers up, mate. I'd rather you didn't speak, just have a little feel around and then talk to me after. Nobody knows how to behave. And I don't know if the common denominator is me and people are just fucking weird around me, but I don't think so. I mean, there's definitely that goes on. The details in which I can tell you, if people don't know who I am, they treat me, they cut me off. And if they do know who I am, they try to be nosy. I don't know, my experience is really unique, and I talk about it in my book. And now that I'm healing myself and got out of the toxicity that is the TV world and having agents and people.
Alright guys, I'm just going to be super honest. We'll play a little bit more, I'm almost done. But she mentioned her book just that. I think it's all just for, the book. If I'm being super honest, I'm trying to find like what went wrong. You were being told to do like a BBC cooking show, you didn't want to do it, and you understood that your time was done, and then you leave. And now you're talking about this doctor or dentist that is eyeing you up. It's like, guys, I'm sorry, but it seems like she's looking for something to say in her book. This is just from how it's coming across, she has a book. If she was genuinely just talking about it and she had nothing to promote, because She literally just said now that she's fed up of people promoting their products that, you know, have no genuine value to them. And here she goes now, and it seems that she's promoting something that's not genuine, and she's just mixing in a few stories just so her book can be a bit interesting. This is how it's sounding to me. Let me know if I've, you know, got this wrong, but it sounds like that to me. It looks like she's trying to find something. You know, with what Graham said in BBC, she couldn't find that, and now it's her dentist, and now it's the doctor. It's like they're just having friendly conversation, if you ask me. You know, this is just how it goes. You know, and they probably recognize your face as well, so they just want to talk to you a little bit. You know, if you don't want to talk, tell them, guys, listen, I don't want to talk, and then it's done. It doesn't really warrant all of this kind of exposure, you know, to the public. But let's just carry on anyway. Let's see if she says anything else.
People talking on my behalf and telling me how I've got to be and what not to say, off, all of it. I've been out of it for, I think it's 3 solid years now. Woo! But I'm having to I have to know what's going on in the world, and I have to see what's going on, and I have to go out in public. And, oh, excuse me, something belly, I need my breakfast. But I have I met with somebody I hadn't seen for a really long time, but I didn't really enjoy this person's company at all. He was really, really toxic. And at one point he said to me that I looked healthy, and then when I explained to him that I didn't really want to ever see him again because I didn't want to continue knowing him, he then told me how he could see how damaged I was. So I'm healthy but damaged.
Alright guys, I've had to stop it right there. If you want to watch the whole thing, I'm going to link it in the description. But to me, it just seems as if she's trying to really have a huge turnout in terms of sale revenue for her autobiography or whatever she has coming out, her book. You know, and this is just how it seems to me. She's trying to expose the bosses in BBC, etc. All for, you know, a payday for herself. This is just how it comes across. so yeah, but in terms of BBC, I do, you know, agree on, you know, some things that, you know, they can be a bit too woke at times. You know, they tend to, you know, hide the truth. They tend to just pander to the left all the time, and it makes me, you know, I get sick and tired of this. You know, I get sick and tired of that. But as like I said before, it doesn't warrant her just going on a run over over what I don't know. So yeah, but anyway, we're gonna stop it there anyway, guys. Let me know what you think in the comment section down below. Like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll catch you at the next video. Peace.